seeing everyone in each department as humans and connecting with them and understanding what they're going through, because you really don't until you ask.
Build it up.
Welcome back to Season 3 of Earned Influence. I have with me Mindy, Kaylee, and Wendy, where we talk about business, leadership, communication, trust, accountability in service, in parts, in BDC, and how it is that you can earn more influence through the work you do. Ladies, it's great to have you on today. So, my question. So, the challenge here is, before I ask the question, the lead in is that dealerships, businesses, trades all over the world have difficulty when you have more than one department. You have a challenge because silos just occur. This siloing creates separation. And one of the things that we know in business is that it's the same as any team sport. When the entire team, if everybody's rowing in the same direction, if everybody is communicating together, everybody's rowing together in the same direction, we have better. So in terms of business, and especially in all four of us, or more specifically in automotive, but this can be applied to anywhere. You've got service, you've got parts, and you've got BDC. These three departments need to work better together. So what's perhaps one piece of advice that you can give to either the department that you supply your services to or work for, or to the other departments that happen to be here on this call, to help that triad win tomorrow? Wendy, how do you think that, or what do you think is your piece of advice either for service or for parts or for the BDC? What's your piece of advice to help the three work better together tomorrow?
I think that we need to cooperate. We need to communicate often. I think we need to express our pain points. I truly believe that neither parts nor service utilize the BDC to the best of their ability. I believe that we are customer service. We are the glue. We are the heart of the dealership that connects all the pieces. We pump blood to all of the departments in the dealership, the same as a heart pumps blood to all the different vital organs and such. And I believe that they have they have power right there that they're not utilizing because of the silos that you mentioned earlier. For example, parts. You got a lot of, and it's funny because my brain, I hear SOP and I think special order part, but now they use it for standard operating procedure. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's special order parts. But anyway, because I remember when I was 23 and I had a piece of paper and a pen and we were counting the parts inventory on a Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they used us then, we helped with all kinds of things. And, your parts, your people that have parts on back order, especially in a CJDR store for a recall, but they're waiting on parts, right? You don't have to use AI. Let your humans get on the phone and call your people that are waiting so that you avoid the heat calls later because no one has time to follow up on them for something as simple as that. What is a piece where we're not connecting that our BDC can do it for us? Same with service. Look at our poor service advisors. No wonder there's such a high churn. Their phones are ringing off the wall. They've got customers at the desk that they have an opportunity to offer more suggested services to that they may not be aware of in order to keep their vehicles operating in the safest way they can for their precious cargo, the humans that we transport, right? Let the BDC get your overflow calls. Let them, the dropped calls, whatever, the missed calls, the things that go to voicemails that many dealers don't even use voicemail anymore. But let your BDC help you for those pieces, the same as we would automatically automate with AI. Let the humans in the BDC help you because it's important, the whole life cycle. You have to include the BDC in the entire life cycle, from the shopping to they say when the road to the sale begins, the road to retention, where that one ends, the other begins. I disagree to Sean's post on Monday. I think it's one fluid cycle, and I think the BDC needs to be at the heart of it all and start the relationship with the customers and keep the relationship with the customers. So wherever we can help you, if it's calling people that have SOPs on order, or if it's service people that are mad because no one returned their call, let us help you. Help us help you.
Help us help you. I think that's something that unanimously across the board needs to be said. And it's not just necessarily BDC. We keep coming back to, communication. We keep coming back to making sure we're asking better questions and trust and so forth across these several seasons of earned influence. But in this circumstance, there are so many things that the BDC could be doing to help the dealership. There is an onslaught of things like advisor overflow. Have the BDC call the customers that your advisors perhaps don't have time for. Utilize the BDC that's at your disposal wherever possible. Have that conversation, to your point. And it doesn't just mean that you've got a CSI issue or something like that. It's what can we do in the store through the BDC that's going to help improve our impact on the community. So I appreciate that. I can't wait to hear Kaylee.
I think I'm going to go back to seeing the human, seeing the person. And the best example I have, because I live with someone that works in a dealership, so I get to hear all the juice. But historically, and it's not just him, but historically, parts people are typically no one really wants to talk to them. They don't really want to engage. And I don't even think parts people really want them
Joe
to.
Chambers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I know it's okay. Joe, yeah. Anyways, but I think when you can especially with technicians and parts, I think when you when you can connect to the parts person, whether it's a manager, whatever, and actually see them as a human, I think you can go a lot further. Because the example I'm going to give is typically people don't really like my husband because he's really good at what he does, but he's a one-person operation. So just getting pulled in all the different directions, you can become short with people, and you're just kind of you don't realize what you're going through. You're attending to the service advisors, you're attending to the 4 techs that all need parts, all the different things. And so they had a new tech, which we've become friends. And he was like, yeah, everyone said Brian's an ass, or whatever you want to call it.
Hey, it's okay.
And he was like, once I kind of slowed down, and especially when you could tell, when Brian's just kind of in a mood, you just ask him hey, are you okay? How's it going? Not just how's it going, are you okay? What can I do for you? And I think when you can take that step back and literally ask someone, are you okay? It's they can express it, and then the text can understand, no, he's dealing with warranty claims, advisors, all the different things, because you just kind of don't realize sometimes. So I'm going to go back to it and say, literally seeing everyone in each department as humans and connecting with them and understanding what they're going through, because you really don't until you ask. So I'm going to just stop there. And sorry, husband.
No,
you're not,
I think it's very real, because it doesn't necessarily just mean parts, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't just mean service. It doesn't just mean any one department in any business anywhere. If you don't know who is where doing what, if you don't know, we've had this conversation and it's been across a couple of the episodes of this season, is it if you don't know the why and you don't know the person and you don't see the people, they feel left out. They can be left in the lurch, and there's lots of production that is left on the table. There's lots of money left on the table. You get higher churn when you don't see the people that are in front of you. So it's a constant challenge for the business to operate, but it's an even bigger challenge when you don't have people face to face in some capacity. And, we had the luxury of COVID bring in video conferencing to another level. We now get to spend a lot of time, energy in a day as people who may never have met. I may never have met the 3 of you if it were not for video conferencing. It may not have ever happened. But when you're in a business, in a brick and mortar business where you're not video conferencing every day, you literally talk to people all day. If you don't talk to somebody who's literally potentially 50 feet away, you're leaving an opportunity on the table to grow as a business, grow as a person, make more money, become better, be a better human, see the human, talk to the human, to your point. I think it's an invaluable lesson. And as much as we give both grief and applause for from time to time, the statement about parts and how often it is relegated and how often BDC is relegated to a certain degree in both circumstances, knowing who they are, believing in that they can help you, asking for their help, and understanding who the person behind the name tag is and the department silo is going to really tremendously change how the business operates. So whether you're a service manager, parts manager, a technician, advisor, a fixed director, making sure people are talking to people like people. Here we are on the last episode talking about how to make the departments work better. And we're talking about being more human. Imagine that. It's okay. At the end of the day, I think hearing the words that are coming out of your mouth, like Jackie Chan and in Rush Hour, I think as long as we're hearing the words coming out of your mouth, I think that's the most important thing. So how would you say, what's your one piece of advice to help service parts and BDC work better together and win?
Mostly not seeing it as this is my department, but rather focusing all of your decisions on the customer and your employees. As a dealership, I know a lot of places parts are against service and service is against sales, but in my dealership, thankfully, we all work very well together. We all have very good relationships together. And I think it all ends up being about relationships, like building relationships through the departments where we all talk together. We all have room to grow and talk together. I think having department meetings where we all get together and discuss concerns on every end of it. So that way there's never any hostility or any bitterness and any issues, that you feel comfortable enough to bring up any issues that are happening within those three departments. That way you can work flawlessly together. Because I do think that a lot of times we get held up on service department, sales department. I know we're not talking about them right now, but still. And then parts department, and BDC. We don't have a BDC at my store, so I'm so sorry. I can't speak too much on the BDC thing, but either way, we have a sales BDC, not service BDC. So to clarify. But just seeing each other as a whole rather than breaking it up into departments, I feel like helps a lot.
Awesome. I think that summarizes it quite nicely, is see things as a whole and not as pieces, to truly set that mindset to task every day, that we are a whole team, not a series of pieces in a puzzle. I think I like that very much. And I think that's a great way to end off this particular season of Earned Influence. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed all of the episodes in this season. I hope you subscribe and share these episodes of this season. Send it to somebody that you think needs to hear these messages. And as always, negative pushes, positive pulls, and always clean your toys before you put them away.
Thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe, and tune in for the next episode.